Hello, Cancer! Welcome to the mid-May general reading for Cancer and people under the influence of Cancer. How is everybody doing? Thank you for joining me in this moment in space and time. I'm glad for all of you that have taken the time to check out these readings and to hit the thumbs up and the thumbs down buttons and leave comments. It's just so awesome that you guys are doing that and that you're connecting with these readings. Because I couldn't do it without you, right? I can't just read for nobody, right? Somebody's at the receiving end. So I want to thank you, and hopefully these readings will resonate for as many people as possible that come to check them out, okay? If you're new here, thanks as well for joining us. I want to wish everybody the best in abundance, love, prosperity, bliss, and all things, really. That's my intention, because we look to tarot to reveal the hidden and the stuck energies, and to bring forward any healing energies that we can for mid-May. And this is for Cancer. Okay, guys, let's just get the cards out and set your intention for the reading, and we'll see what's coming up. Okay, bottom of the deck. King of Swords. Okay, here's the King of Swords. This is this person can be a teacher. This person can be a friendly person to talk to. That it can be at least surfacely empathic, or can give you good guidance after hearing your dilemma. The King of Swords usually could be reflective of someone who is in a law profession, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, somebody of that nature, even just a counselor, a vocational counselor, somebody that can listen to your problems and give you good direction and give you good advice on how to move forward. The King of Swords in an overall energy is usually a signifier is that somebody with a lot of air in their charts. This could be a Gemini or a Libra or an Aquarius that some of you are dealing with or are involved with and are here to find out about them, just kind of on a mundane level. This is an older person. This is somebody that has sort of mastered the world around them, how they deal with people, how they negotiate with people. They're usually very fulfilled in their life. They have things and people around them that bring them the most amount of fulfillment. And they're kind of continually making adjustments and putting their best foot forward in the world to continue said fulfillment is coming into their life. Okay, this could be a fatherly figure for many of you. And for some of you, this could be somebody that you are kind of entrusting with your with something about life. Again, a lawyer or a counselor of some sort. Okay, King of Swords energy, and we'll try and relate back to that as we go through the readings here and see what's going on. Now, we've got Seven of Cups energy up in the grounding, and it's reversed. So this is sort of a good card to see reversed in grounding. It seems like you guys have been presented with a lot of options here, Cancer. Emotionally or otherwise, kind of how you're feeling about certain situations. The feeling I have with you guys leading up into this reading is that some of you made the decision to get up, to get moving, to not let something have as much dominion over you as it was. You've sort of made up your mind about certain things. But now we could be feeling those tests of those energies coming back into wanting to second guess ourselves, right? Why seeing Seven of Cups reversed. It's like, if you have doubt, if you are second guessing a thing that you've made, you've taken steps, you've seen the promise, the happiness that your decision that you've made can bring you. Don't be fooled. Don't be tricked this month into thinking that you're going the wrong direction, and or whatever you're doing is strictly for you and to promote yourself. If some of you have gone out and you've sought advice from a good friend or a father or a counselor and saying, I just don't know what to do, I just don't know which way to take my life or which way to turn, this person could give you a couple of different options that, he may be able to whittle the field down from 7 options down to 1 or 2 really good decisions that you could make. And then it's going to be up to you to sort of make that final decision or make things sort of work harmoniously together. Synergistic energy almost is the feeling I have with this Seven of Cups and grounding. So the feeling here to have this, and again, if this comes back to diet, you guys know the foods that work well with you and the foods that do not work well with you. Let's avoid emotional eating so we're not feeling too lethargic or under the weather for the best health possible. in Seven of Cups. And as well, if you have many people vying for your time, for your energy, don't be afraid to say no if your schedule is too cluttered. Don't be afraid to say no. And the feeling is that you're going to be moving forward very directly, very linearly. The Seven of Cups upright is a card of like daydreaming, of like fantasizing, of wishing, well, if I had this much money, I could afford that. Or, if I decide to go out on a limb and try this, that could be possible. But when it's reversed, we may not be seeing all the options that are available at present time, which is why the King of Swords and Counseling could be a good card to have. If somebody's going to let you know about something you didn't even maybe realize was an option, and then you can go with that or add it to it. Or you may just be in a situation here where it's like you're, like I said, narrowing the field down to one or two things as opposed to some other things that you really are like you may have considered. But the better part of you knows that it's kind of flighty. It's kind of a far-fetched type thing as far as that goes. All right? So it could be a bit of an unsettled month emotionally, Cancer. You guys are the most emotional sign, I feel, of the entire zodiac. So if emotions are in check, keep up the good work. If emotions feel like they're getting out of hand, let's just do some deep breathing. Let's get on the telephone. Let's talk to somebody before they get, we repeat a cycle sort of thing where it's kind of like you guys had a really rough go at the start of April and in through mid-April, and then it's starting to clear up. So for some Cancers, I feel like they're going to keep on that correct path of not letting their emotions get away from them, while others may be at risk of falling back into that cycle, depending on how grounded you are. If you need help with grounding, research it. Listen to more spiritual people. I can tell you like techniques I use to ground, but make this about yourself. Don't make this about me, right? Do what you feel it takes to really calm yourself down and bring yourself back to the 3D if you feel like it's just slipping away from you, right? Or life thinking and feeling has become too much of a fantasy sort of thing. Okay. Whoa, we got another 7. This is 7 of Pentacles upright. And this is up in the sacral area, the sacral chakra. So whatever it is, maybe you guys are being a little bit reserved now. Maybe you guys are going to say, well, I'm not going to give it up too easy. I'm not going to just wear my heart on my sleeve anymore. I'm going to be a little bit more guarded. I'm going to be a little bit more like Virgo energy or Taurus energy, where it's like, I'm not going to let you in unless you show me that you're worthy of being let into my heart. Your heart is like a great big ocean of like feelings of ebb and flow, and and it's good to have that, especially when it's balanced with a clear thinking mind, which is still awesome to see this King of Swords up in the overall energy for you guys. This brings balance to your guys' lives. This brings balance to your living sort of thing. And 7s, this is a number for me. 7 is fulfillment. It's bliss. It's kind of that state where you get into where it's just like you feel like, yeah, this is good. This feels right? 7 is really a number of destiny for me as well. Some of you may be feeling like you're working towards your destiny, or that things that you have the ability to change things that you may have felt were predestined for you, or you may be setting your intentions so that eventually one day you can begin to see, like photograph in your mind, the destiny that is meant for you, what it is. So when I say destiny, I just mean like the very long-term place where you would like to see yourself. That's going to be influenced both by you and by external circumstances. And with 7 of Pentacles, a lot of this is being influenced by you and what you want to do when you decide to say jump. Now, if somebody else is saying jump, you don't jump. You only jump when you're goddamn ready to jump, kind of energy with 7 of Pentacles. You can just say, okay, I'm not letting people in until they prove themselves to me. I'm not going to be wasting my time and my money and my energy on situations that leave nothing to show for it the next day. Excuse me, kind of thing, right? 7 of Pentacles is like, I'm going to be doing some very smart budgeting, very smart grocery shopping. Some of you may be refining your diets and your things you spend your money for the things that bring you comfort on, even a little bit more, refining that. so that you're saving up for a bigger ticket item, perhaps a car, perhaps a home, perhaps a vacation. Seven of Pentacles to me is like effective saving, right? They say, well, Four of Pentacles is like miserly. Nobody wants to spend a penny on anything because they're afraid of, not having enough money. Whereas to me, Seven of Pentacles is like you're taking the proper steps to like save the extra quarters, save the extra $5 bills, sock it away, because you have a purpose in mind for that money, okay? And this could be something you're very passionate about. Some of you, I feel, might just want to just be like, once or twice a year, just say, F it, I'm going to China, I'm going to Peru, I'm just going to travel away. And if that means I can't go out for drinks, every Thursday, or I can't, do this, that, or the other thing every once in a while, well, I'm going to do it because this is more important to me. My long-range goals are more important to me right now. So good job, Cancer. Another very good reading so far off the top with these sevens and that beautiful clarity that's coming through with the King of Swords here in this reading. I like it. All right, now up in our gut instinct, we have Ten of Pentacles reversed. So this card, the feeling I have here is that some of you may be in situations where you could be considering selling your home or selling a big ticket item even. Whether it be like a car that has some nostalgic value to it, or maybe a home for more mature viewers that you've raised your kids in it, and now you may be looking at downsizing, maybe moving into an apartment sort of thing. This could be a little bit of vice versa. I feel like there could be Cancers out here that might be having conflicting issues with aging parents, that you're just like, oh, I don't know like how long I can leave them, alone on their own without some sort of like intervention nurse, or like having to like go 3 times a day and go and check in on them, or like phone them just to make sure of that kind of thing. That's the feeling I have in gut instinct with this Ten of Pentacles card, is with aging parents and with downsizing the home, and with just sort of that overall feeling of like you may be wanting to liquidate your assets with this Seven of Pentacles. You're saving up, but the focus on money here, Cancer, is that you may also be selling larger ticket things that you're like, you know what, I don't need a 28-seater Suburban anymore. Like, I'm not going to soccer practice anymore. Why the heck is this hunk of metal still sitting in my driveway? I can pull 3 or 4 grand out of it just by listing it on Craigslist or whatever. Like, that kind of feeling I have with this list, or stuff like that, or other things of that nature, right? This as well could be pointing towards divided estates. Okay, here comes a lawyer. Oh, I got news for you, right? This gotta say it, right? This is what's up here when we see it like this. This could be like estates being divided, like somebody has to be the one that administers all it, or makes some certain decisions regarding those sorts of things. And all condolences if this is your case. Life and death is a very cyclical democratic process. We all take part in it. So, but my condolences. Is hard when you lose somebody, for sure, and especially with the residual energy that comes along with it in regards to their things, the life, the 3D tangible life that person had built. Can be a lot of feeling and a lot of emotion behind that as well. Okay, so those are the messages up for Ten of Pentacles reversed there. Okay. Now we've got the Tower. Oh man, did I mention somebody was moving? We have the Tower up in the heart. So some of you definitely mundanely, you may just be looking at selling your house and getting into something a little bit more manageable, something maybe a little bit closer to work so you're not having to drive as far, something that is going to generate a profitable income for you where you're liquidating assets, but you may have to find that you're having to move, okay? The Tower could also say that you are moving through sort of chapters of life. You guys are a water sign, so you guys, it's kind of like Scorpio in that essence, where it's like you will find certain chapters of your life draw to a close, and then it's like something new comes in. And it's not something you can define tangibly, but it's more of an energy flow type thing, okay? When we see Tower, the 16 in the heart, it's kind of like some of you may be just pulling the pin on certain situations. You're like, screw it, I'm done letting people in. I'm done being at the will, or what's the word I'm looking for? At the whims of somebody else all the time, right? You guys, I feel, are really taking your power back. And this Tower up in the heart, like maybe some of you are just doing it for the first time, and you're like, this is weird. Like, I feel like I'm shutting my emotional self off. This is counterintuitive. I'm not like this. I don't turn cold shoulders on people. I don't tell people no. That kind of thing. So if that's new to you, just like, don't let it shake you up too much. Just kind of like, don't worry too much about it. And if you have, my condolences out to you. If you have lost somebody, a family member, and it's kind of like people might be a little bit kind of acting out of sorts because emotions are running a little bit high, or nobody's quite sure. We haven't faced a world without a certain so-and-so, or I shouldn't call them a so-and-so, but a certain somebody, then that's natural energy to be feeling as well. The tower doesn't have to be super scary. It's a natural thing. When we see the tower, it's just like an adjustment needs to be made. We need to be aware of the things around us that are not permanent, that are not so impactful that they are going to affect our lives. If we let the little things affect us, then we could be completely off our game. And here, you guys have the Fool on the more mundane level. I asked this for a clarifier to figure out what's going on. Now, look, when we see this, some of you are just very uncertain. You're just like, what should I do? Well, maybe some of you have just come into a big, a lot more money than you're used to seeing all at once, and you're like, well, what the F do I do with this? Where do I invest it? Do I share it? Do I hoard it all away? Do I sock it all away for a rainy day? Just what do I... No, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. But at the same time, what I can tell you is that we need to keep our long-range goals in sight. The Fool is the beginning of the journey. The world, we don't have the world here, but the world is the end of the journey. So when you see the Fool, it's a good reminder to look 10 years down the road. I know tomorrow is not certain. It's not guaranteed for any of us. But it doesn't hurt just to take a minute or two to look 5 years, 10 years down the road and say, okay, this is what I want. And that could give you a clearer indication of what the things around you right now that are permanent and what could go by the wayside that wouldn't affect you one way or the other, especially if you're looking at downsizing, especially if you're looking at investing, especially if you're looking at plans that involve some sort of counseling or some sort of lawyer to put things in the right way, right? Some of you might actually have had lawsuits about certain things in the past that have done harm to you or brought harm to your way, and it could be a situation where you could be hearing about those things at present time, okay? So, maybe there are certain litigations out for wrongful actions or things like that for some people, because it'd be interesting if we see if justice comes up. But the Tower and the Fool, we're definitely moving through something with uncertainty because the things around us are uncertain. So we have to keep in this Seven of Pentacles. Go within go within your passions. Go within what's important to you, what drives you. Use that as your signifier, as for decision making. Okay, well, what do we let go of? What do we keep? Where do we go and where do we not go? Kind of thing, right? That's basically what that's saying. And with the Tower here up in your heart, if you're longing for your love, your relationship situations to change, you may find that these things will change for you. They're in a bit of a turbulent state right now. They're in a very subtle and changing state. Nothing really is too fixed about them right now. So I would kind of caution you from acting too quickly, too hastily, because King of Swords has learned that quick action doesn't always bring about it. But you are acutely aware of a changing environment, and you remain the point of permanence in that environment, okay? So I hope that made sense. All right. Now we've got Queen of Wands up in our communication sector, and she's reversed. Okay, so some of you could be dealing with a fire sign that's with like a pretty snappy. They could be like just kind of being like a, I don't know what the word I want to use for this person is. I don't like Queen of Wands when she's reversed. Queen of Wands is somebody like, I want to give a two-hand shove to. If it was legal, I probably would, and just be like, piss off. I don't need your negativity around me. I don't need you taking out your problems on me. I don't need you coming in here and ordering people I care about and myself around just because it promotes your own ego. It promotes your own agenda. That kind of thing. I want to tell Queen of Wands reverse that. because we know these people that we're talking about here. I mean, fire sign or not, if somebody with a lot of fire in their charts, if it's a Sag, if it's an Aries, if it's a Leo, yeah, okay, that could be that person. But this is the person in your environment that is just like, no, you do this, you do that, and we're going to do it this way, and that's the way it's going to be. You just want to tell that person to get lost, right? That kind of thing. And this is coming up in communication. We're looking at the external factors of this card, a person in our environment that's communicating in a very sharp, snippety, like, wanting to be very authoritative, but they're transparent. We can see right through that the things that they're doing are not coming from a clear mind. They're coming from a bruised or a battered ego that they're trying to like gather up and glue the pieces of Humpty Dumpty back together again. And you just kind of want to laugh at this person, but at the same time, you know, eventually they're going to have a breakdown and just cry it all out on your shoulders. So I don't know what kind of advice I could give to you about this Queen of Wands up in your communication sector. If you can avoid it, I would avoid it until she becomes like this, which is like the complete... This is one of the most significant reversals in the deck to me, when Queen of Wands is straight up or when Queen of Wands is reversed, right? It's almost like this bipolar type thing. Not that this person you're dealing with is bipolar. This person just may be very clouded to the fact they're ignorant of how their words and their actions are affecting the people around them. So if you are dealing with this, if you can avoid it, avoid it. If you cannot avoid it, maybe you just want to like take the high road here, be the better person, just like, okay, oh yeah, I see, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, we could try that. Let me get back to you on Tuesday, right? That kind of thing, and then just let them go off in their own fiery path in a different direction, go and get on the next person's case, and then you just have to go to the bathroom for a few minutes and be like, God damn it, that was horrible. Just kind of brush it off, you know, kind of thing, right? Okay. If we want to internalize Queen of Wands, we could say that maybe we need to be better guides for ourselves. We need to give ourselves some certainty. Take a deep breath, and if we're at risk of like falling back into over emotional cycles and becoming a little bit that way ourselves because we are so emotionally involved or feeling, we're doing a lot more feeling than clear thinking. We really need to catch ourselves from doing that so that we can become a person that can give great advice to ourselves rather than acting too hastily and just being a little bit too closed off, right? You notice Queen of Wands has her hands in front of her. They're kind of on her lap, right? Which is okay. But when the arms are in front, it still means like kind of a closed off type energy, right? So it's like when she's like this, she's directing, yes, in a very good way, a very organized way, and a very heartfelt way, I feel, right? But when she's like this, she's still directing, but she's not even close to being open to seeing somebody else's point of view. So if this is you, you may just need to take a deep breath and realize, like, if you're dealing with siblings in this plot line of estates and selling things, you may just need to see somebody else's point of view, or make sure that you're not too quickly writing off friendly advice without giving it a chance, sort of thing. Okay? All right, let's see what's up. Pineal Gland. 5 of Cups reversed. Okay, so this is speaking back to the Cancers here now that have really come out of a position where they were feeling too powerless because, you know, there is always that risk of your emotions getting out of whack when other people are around you are just kind of even being themselves. Sometimes we just don't want to look at the ugly things in life. Sometimes we just don't want to see how ugly people truly are being when it's right there in our face to see it. And maybe universe, maybe source wants you to take a longer look at that so that you are not in this position of vulnerability too much longer. All right. We may see as well, like we got a lot of green up in this. Okay. So a lot of this is truly heartfelt, but at the same time, we have to say, okay, well, what we're feeling are our emotions a product of our heart or are they a product of our mind? Right? And a lot of Cancers are waking up to this energy being like, I can stop myself from having a certain emotion, but I don't want to lose touch with it when it truly comes from the heart. Because what will happen is we'll analyze the situation mentally, and then the message goes down into our body, and then our heart and our stomach react a certain way to how we've analyzed that situation. And that's when we're like, I feel pissed off. I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel happy, and then that's where the emotion comes from. So it's kind of like the brain is like, the brain is the computer generator of turning the environment into a thought. Then the thought travels down into the body, the heart takes the thought and turns it into a feeling. Then the feeling is reflected back out into the body, and then the body is like reacts a certain way to the emotion, right? And then whether we act harshly or we react or we choose to like pull the bed sheets over our heads or whatever, that's the body's reaction to that feeling. But remember that this all begins in the environment and in the way through our eyes, the eyes being the window to the soul. How we're perceiving this environment, we have to realize it goes through a couple steps before it actually gets to the heart and is generated as an emotion. And it happens in a nanosecond, literally. Like, you can gaze upon something and start crying. Like, it happens to me with like adoption commercials of kitties and puppies on TV. Like, I immediately like see it. I know what it is. I start crying. But really, I'm like, well, how founded is that? Like, why does that happen? And you kind of like slow it down and say, well, I do have some power over this. I do have the power to look away, maybe like particularly like turn my back, or like that cold shoulder that some of you may be not used to having, just being like, okay, I know it's there. I just don't want to deal with it right now. I just don't want to feel that right now. And consciously, as a co-creator, you turn away from it in that instant to prevent yourself from going down a road where, you know, the next couple hours or the next couple days or the next couple weeks, you're left feeling powerless over it, because in a split instant, your whole mind, body, and spirit has decided to react to something in your environment. Okay? That's out there, Cancer. It's out there. It's a good message, though. Now we got Knight of Pentacles up reversed. All right. So you could be just wanting to sort of, things might be a little bit too stagnant in terms of all the mundane things around you that you're dealing with. You could be in situations where you're waiting to hear back. You could be in situations where you're waiting for these resources to sell, to be allocated. And you could be waiting on situations where it's like some of you may be kind of waylaying the decision. Part of you maybe knows you need to change up your environment, to shake things up, to move things up. But you haven't been doing so yet because maybe you felt like it hasn't been right, or you want to talk to more people about doing this. You were wanting more advice, okay? From this sort of situation, what do we do with our resources? Like I said, what are your long-term goals, Cancer? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Knight of Pentacles is the perfect card for asking ourselves that question, because the Knight of Pentacles wants to go anywhere in 10 years. It's going to take Knight of Pentacles 100 years to get there. So with them being reversed, what I want to tell you as a reader and what I'm being urged to say is that you have to get these thoughts beginning to generate within you. You have to be able to be willing and wanting to look at them, to be wanting to look at your own future, so that the ball gets rolling and so that things will align. You can do things, but if you have not like set the intention for the future, normally the things that we're doing will not align with the future, because if no proper intention has been set, then it kind of gets confused and muddled along the way. Okay? So that's the situation I have here with Knight of Pentacles as well. Somebody's dealing with some really harsh allergies here, and they're wanting to be out in nature, but they're feeling trapped because they can't be out in nature. My sinuses just like lit right up when I got this message coming in from Crown. It's like, yeah, my heart goes out to you. You may want to seek out some kind of help from a pharmacist or something, just to get you on the right path to relieve your suffering that way. Okay, I don't know. This is a weird one. Came in, I was urged, tapped on the shoulder to say it, tapped on the nose to say it, I should say. Okay, now let's look at the Enchanted Map Oracle deck for a capstone card, for Oracle card for your reading. Cancer, it's good to see these cards coming up like this for you guys. You had a rough start to the year, and now it's like things are opening up, and there are some stuff that's really just kind of flowing your way as long as you remain open to it. And look, number 42, wide open. We got a lady, she's got her back turned to us. She's looking at this beautiful butterfly and the wide, expansive openness, which this could be a metaphor of her future, her destiny, right? I'm surprised we didn't see Wheel of Fortune up in this reading, but maybe we'll get there eventually. Okay, let's see what's going on with card number 42. I'll read the message from the book as I always do. Quote, "You are free to express your uniqueness to the world and share in the bounty of life's endless possibilities. All manner of opportunities are presented to you at this time. The wide open card is a signal that you're able to truly manifest your dreams and that your goals are in sight. Don't remain small and contracted. Instead, expand your horizons beyond what you believe to be your limitations. You have a unique voice that needs to be expressed in the world. The universe is supportive of new ideas and approaches at this time. So speak up and speak out. This card is the sign of the maverick who freely roams the wide open space of possibilities and allows for greater vision to replace old ideas as you dream the greater dream." Okay, isn't that the truth? So yeah, the feeling I have is some of you are giving some serious consideration into reallocating resources for true fulfillment, regardless of what other people are doing. So that being said, I feel a lot of you are just going to be like out there at the end of May doing it. You're going to be like quarter counting, which is awesome. You know, putting those $5 and those $10 bills away for that perfect thing that you want to have happen and defining for yourself what is that you're wanting to have happen. Okay. Very amazing. And if you are dealing with some fire and some earth signs around you, they're probably just coming in as side issues from source or your environment to help you be convicted into your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your resolve in saving for yourself. There may be some people that are like asking you like to come out, to socialize, to invest money here, to come and do this, when you may just have to tell them no. And some people are going to get their noses out of joint about it. That's okay. Cancer, you're doing it for you. You just ask them to understand at this time. That's the way it is. Okay? Love you guys lots, and we'll see you next reading.